Hi, how you doing? Welcome to Coffee Chat with Angie. I'm Angie, and yes, I'm transgender, and yes, I have a very masculine voice, but hey, I'm just doing the best I can, just like everybody else. Oh boy, just like everybody else. Here we talk about eco-friendly ideas fighting against the shitstem of the bully dozer. Hey, how you doing? Okay, so I just had an experience that is kind of like a good example of I still haven't figured out the lighting. Obviously, I need to oh my gosh, or should I just turn the light off? See what I mean? Or that's probably better, right? So on this channel, it's not monetized. I have another channel with anyway. That's many. It has a lot less subscribers and stuff like that. But Rasta Witch it's called. But this is the one that I actually have all my videos and that I've had forever. That's just like a second one. So like other projects, that's what I'm trying to say. I might monetize. I mean, just like everybody else. But what I'm trying to do is more. I'm trying to not just start. Not just answer questions I had because of LSD trips about whether God exists and who God is, but to share that with the world, because to be honest, it took a tremendous amount of time. Like I went on these acid trips when I was like 17 years old, and I was still finding answers all through my 30s and through my 40s. I'm still finding answers, but right now it's time for me to move on. I don't need to literally study every single religion that's ever existed in all history or anything like that. I understand what I believe about who God is, and that I know I don't believe God's a man in the sky. I say that all the time because, oh my gosh, everybody, when you say God, everybody always assumes that it's that. But what about a witch? Ask for yourself for 3 seconds, what is a witch? I mean, hello, pagan. There's deities, actually, and it's not witch, but just everything, there's deities. How simple of a thing to know. So that's more, anyway. It's hard to know to even talk about things like that because there's always so much to say, and I try not to talk too much. I guess maybe right now I'm just recapping everything that's happened in the last 4 or 5 or I don't know how many episodes of Coffee Chat with Angie, and just to catch up. So this is where we are, and clearly I insist that I'm a witch, and that that Haile Selassie, and I used to use Mother Mary. I still do. I just have extended the mythology so that Mother Mary becomes a black bear named Yaruba. No, Yaduba. See, she's only 2 days old. Yaduba. I'll celebrate her birthday each year and refer to the goddesses as Yaduba. The world's newest goddess, and I'm creating the mythology for myself. But what I've learned, because I've been trying to either start my own religion or start a philosophy or something, either for myself or for it would appear for everybody else. But it's because what I've learned, in my effort to answer these questions, I feel, how like in school, when you learn something, you either need to next pass a test or write a report, right? So it's kind of like that, especially me. My teachers would be like, oh, because I was always in trouble, and most of the time how I would get punished is I'd have to write a report. And I was in trouble all through elementary school, like all the time, so I was always writing reports. So maybe that's where it comes from. But um, but it's much more than that. When you actually, that's just. There's always, with these type of things, there's always a difference between how it looks and how it even looks / is when you're first experiencing it versus years of practicing it and believing in it. So anyway, so I just had an experience that I want to share with you. It's a personal experience, but it's an example, because if you're up to where we are right now, you're probably wondering, well, why wouldn't Angie just be an atheist? And that's a good question. Why wouldn't I? Why do you need a bear named Yaduba? Why? Why do you need a mythology at all? Is the question. Someone with my beliefs, I ends up having friends with the atheists. Typically, like right now, my mind's thinking of every friend I've had, and they're like I think every one of them are atheists, as far as I know. But I hold on to this thing, like this home, this porta home on my back, like a turtle shell. I'm of the turtle clan in Native American astrology. So I was thinking of something, and it was I guess like nasty sexual thoughts in my head, to be honest. But you don't need to know the details. That's all you need to know. And as I was walking past a picture of Selassie, Haile Selassie, like here I've got a book. It's not in focus. Emperor Haile Selassie is a picture of Haile Selassie on the wall, and I was walking by right as I was having that thought, and then every once in a while believing in a deity that was so recent ago that there's photographs of him. In this case, Haile Selassie. I have a picture of Haile Selassie like in every room, So I might, like the song by Burning Spear, Jossie and know that, Jossie and know, that teaching is in every religion. Critics would say that's a cult thing, and perhaps it is part of that or whatever, but just that idea, the Jah. If there is a Jah, if there is a God, then Yah is seeing and knowing, because it comes from within, and that's where we all connect. And so since you're seeing and knowing, Yah sees and knows. And sometimes the picture just like pierces into you when you have a belief like that, and it's as if Selassie, and who's to say, that the spirit of Selassie in a case like that, whether it's 50% placebo and 20% this tradition and the momentum of past lives, and who knows what's all going in the the 15% that's actually true, and then all the different aspects of what's really going on, if we only knew. But then anyway, so I looked at the picture of Selassie, and the eyes pierced. It was one of those kind of moments, and then I stopped thinking, and my mind stopped everything, and I wasn't sure what to do. I just stopped thinking those thoughts. Not that I believe I believe that I believe that masturbation is not a sin. I don't really believe in sin. We've talked. There's a recent episode about that. Just that whole behavior. The behavior was a control thing, aspect of this creation that's happened about that we call religion. That's out of date, completely out of date, according to Selassie too. Then I thought at work today, there was a customer, and she was an elderly woman, an old woman. Women are sensitive about. See the whole situation. I'm good with old women because I really like old women, and I get along with them just fine. And that this wasn't a case like that. There was no argument or anything like that. But and I think I was polite. But so there was a product was in the wrong place, and so she thought it cost that much money, which is understandable. That was my point. Yeah, I agree with you. You know, and then she mentioned the ribbons, and you know, I confess that I don't know if I can guarantee that the ribbons are always going to be in the right place. You know, because like people just set them anywhere. You know, but then I thought, am I disrespecting her because she's older than a lot older than me, you know, as far as like respect your elders kind of a thing? How do I handle that? So just then when Slasia did that, it brought me right to that same moment. I didn't know how to handle it with Slasia either just then, and so I stopped thinking the thought, and then I thought, well, I guess how does that apply to the old woman today? And then I thought, okay, so what I should have done was just kind of like, you imagine like if you're talking to like you're visiting a tribe of Native Americans, and the elders talking, how you would respect the elder like that, kind of like a similar type thing. Just you know, I believe you always in proper loving one another, there needs to be some authenticity to your style, because then it will keep you honest and consistent. So therefore, my innocence of confessing my situation, I think that's used a lot often. That's why I do well with older people, because I've worked in old people's homes, and I really care about old people. I like old people. They make good friends. But what I should have done was just put emphasis on the word "I'm sorry." Those two words, and just say "I'm sorry." You know, because right now I can't. Am I sure I said I'm sorry? I know I just said I put emphasis on that she's right. Just like I stopped thinking those thoughts when I saw Selassie, out of respect for an elder, I would need to show respect with her by just putting emphasis on being sorry. I'm sorry, because that's the proper English terminology. To be properly polite there, and then maybe put more emphasis on there needs to be an invention. And I just had a vision and sketched it down of a better way, because I already talked to my boss about it and stuff. I'm not sure how much I can. You're not supposed to just talk about your job on your YouTube channel, you know. So I shouldn't give any details or anything like that. But I did come up with an idea. Because I want to, you know, because I want to be at people's service as my expression of loving one another, and this is my job, and maybe while I'm here and I have this job, I can come up with a good idea to help the people that get ribbon where I work, because there are a lot of people. Oh, did I say where I work? I'm not sure. I'll have to rewatch this. So in other words, sometimes with respect of elderly people, you need to just shut up, basically. And sometimes it might even be a little bit unfair, but you shut up, because there's a motivation for respect of elders, and that's if we're lucky, we'll be one day too. What? You don't drink coffee? Well, that's why we've got Twinings Earl Grey. Since 1706, the Queen of England. You just put a squirt of stevia. Very, very, very small. Smaller than normal. Because really what you're sweetening it with is a dabble of raw honey. And then you got your tea bag in there. Some toast with Carrie's Irish butter and honey. And we got the Twinings. Okay, you have just listened to another video by The Spiral Times Presents. Thank you.